Hello guys, welcome to another Android tutorial, and in this tutorial we are going to learn something about Firebase. Okay, so our topic is how to upload any kind of files on Firebase. In this project we are going to upload PDF files on Firebase. So this is our final application. It contains of two buttons, one is for choosing a file and the other is for uploading the file. So let us click on the select file button, and here is our file manager. So let us choose a file, and this is the acknowledgement for our file chosen. Now let us click on the upload button. So this progress dialog shows the percentage of our upload. Okay, so let us wait. Yeah, see, our file is successfully uploaded. So let us check the Firebase project. So here is our Firebase storage, and let us refresh it. So see, here is our upload. Okay, this is the file that we uploaded just right now. So before proceeding to this video, please make sure that you subscribe my channel, and without wasting any further time, let's get started. So first of all, open Android Studio, and we are going to create a new application. So click on start a new Android Studio project. Provide your application name. So if you know these parts, you can directly skip 1 to 3 minutes of this video. So after this, click on next, and make sure this API version is as low as possible. Better to choose among 14, 15 and 16, because if you go for the higher versions, then it may happen that your app will fail to run on lower Android versions. Okay, so I am going to choose 16. Now click on next. We are going to use empty activity for our project, so select empty activity and click on next. Now leave these fields as they are and click on finish. So now it will take hardly 1 to 3 minutes to complete building the Gradle, and after that we will be ready to code. So let's wait. So our project has completed building, and as I already said, in this tutorial we are going to write PDF files to Firebase. Okay, so after watching this video, you will be able to write any kind of file. It may be images, it may be doc, or any kind of file. Okay, so our first task will be to connect Firebase to our application. Okay, so it can be done in a very simple way within Android Studio. So make sure you have the latest version of Android Studio, which is 3.0 or 3.0.1. Now go to this tools menu, click on it, and then click on Firebase. Okay, so see, here you will be provided with a list of tools that Firebase offers to you. So we are going to use two of them. One is the real-time database and another is the storage. So we need to connect them to our app. So simply to connect storage, click on it, click on this upload and download a file, click on it, and now select connect to Firebase. Now here you will be asked to provide your Firebase project name. Okay, the project with which your application will be connected. So let me provide it as my Firebase project. Okay, now after providing it, click on connect to Firebase. So see, this is the notification that our project is successfully connected to our Firebase project. Now we need to connect cloud storage to our application. Okay, to connect Firebase cloud storage, click on the second add cloud storage to your app. Okay, now accept the changes and it will be connected automatically. Okay, so our cloud storage is successfully connected. Now we will connect real-time database to our app. Okay, so just navigate to the previous menu and click on real-time database. Now click on save and retrieve data and click on add the real-time database to your app. Okay, so click on it and accept the changes. Yeah, so after this we have successfully integrated Firebase in our application. Okay, now first let us move to the activity main.xml. So click on this res folder, that is the resources folder. Now navigate to this layout folder and click on activity main.xml. So this is the window where we are going to design our app. Okay, so first let me delete this default hello world. So click on it and press the delete button on the keyboard. So it's got deleted. Now I am going to make some changes. For example, I am not going to use constraint layout for my application. I am going to use relative layout. So to use any type of layout, just write the layout name. Okay, so it's done. Now we will do the design that we have shown in our final output. Okay, so first we will bring a button here, then we will go for the text view, now we will go for another button. So now let us quickly define the IDs and the name of the buttons and the text view. Okay, so first click on the button, provide it an ID, so let it be select file. Okay, now change the text of this button to select file. Okay, so it's the name of our button. Now select on this text view, provide it an ID of notification, so it will basically show us that whether our file is successfully selected or not. So let me provide an ID of notification. Now change the default text to no file is selected. Okay, so you can do all of this stuff from this right panel because it's not so complex. Now go for the third button, select it, give it an ID of upload. So we are basically going to use this button to upload our file. Change the text to upload. Okay, so it's done. Okay, so now let us move to main activity.java and show you the real code. Okay, so open main activity.java, double click on this file. Now for our first task will be to define global variables for the buttons and the text view. Okay, so let us define select file and the upload. Import the class of button. Now the text view. Import the class again. Now after this we will define another two reference to Firebase storage and the real-time database of Firebase. Okay, so just write Firebase database and provide the reference name. So now our task will be to create objects for the storage and database. Okay, so within the onCreate method, write storage equals to Firebase storage dot get instance. So basically this line is going to return an object of current Firebase storage of your application. Okay, so this line returns an object of Firebase storage. Okay, now initialize the database variable. So in a similar way, write Firebase database dot get instance. So it will similarly return an object of Firebase database. Okay, So I hope you got it. We are going to upload files in this storage, Firebase storage part, okay? And we are going to store the URLs of our uploaded files in our Firebase database. So let me write used for uploading files. Here for example we are going to upload PDF, and it will be used to store URLs of uploaded files, okay? Because we will use the URLs to locate our actual file in future point of time, okay? Now we are going to create objects for the button. So this is the first button. Provide the find view by ID method and provide the ID of your corresponding button. So it was select file. So let me again show you. This is our activity main and the ID of this button was select file, okay? So I provided the same ID here and created object for that corresponding button and stored it in this select file variable. Now we are going to create object for the second button. Just provide its ID in a similar way. It was upload and there goes our second button. Now create object for your text view. Just write find view by ID. Provide the ID of a text view. So it was notification, and here is our object of text view that is created. Now we need to do what will happen when you click the select file button, okay? So to do what will happen when you click the select file button, just write select file and attach an on-click listener. So use the on-click listener method and within it override the on-click listener interface. So there goes our interface, and within this method we are going to write what will happen when you click our button, okay? So first of all we are going to check permissions for our application. Now we need mainly one type of permission, that is we must have permission to read our SD card or our internal storage, okay, because we are going to select file from it. So first we are going to check that permission. So to check any permission, that whether it is available or not, you should write context compat.check self permission, and the first parameter will be the current context, it is main activity.this, and the second parameter will be the name of your permission, okay? So the name will be read external storage. So this is our permission. So we'll check that whether our application have permission for reading external storage. So if it have permission, it will return package manager dot permission granted, okay? So this is the ultimate line that shows whether we have sufficient permission to read our external storage, okay? So after writing this line we will be able to check that whether our application have permission for reading external storage, okay? And if it have permission, it will return an constant which is permission granted of the package manager class, okay? So if our application have permission, so we will just write a method to select the PDF, okay? We're going to define it soon. So let us create the method. So this is our method select PDF. We are going to write. So before it, let us handle the else part. So if our application doesn't have permission to read external storage, we will ask the user to grant permission, okay? So to do it, you write activity compat dot request permission. Now the first parameter will be the current activity, which is main activity.this, and now our second parameter will be a string array. So a string array that contains the permissions that we want. So here we are going to use one permission. So we will define a string array with one permission, which is reading external storage, okay? and there goes our third parameter. So our third parameter will be a number, or you can call it a request code. So what is the purpose of this code? I am going to tell you soon. First, define a number of your choice. So let me write it as 9. Okay. So if the user successfully grants permission after executing this line, then the acknowledgement will be done in another method. Okay. The name of the method is on request permissions result. So this is the method. In this method, we can actually verify that whether the user has successfully granted permission to our application or not. So let me repeat once more. After execution of this line, the user will be asked to provide permission to your application, and the acknowledgement will be done in this method. Okay. So this on request permissions result would be invoked by this line. Okay, it will be invoked by this line. So now see, we have passed an integer here, that is 9. So this request for permission is invoked with an request code of 9. Okay, so we are going to check that the request code is actually 9 or not within this method. So see, this on request permission result has 3 variables: request code, permissions, and grant results. Okay, so first this request code will be this request code which we passed. The second string array permissions will be this string array that we passed, and the third array, that is an integer, grant results, will be used to check whether the user has successfully given permission to our app or not. Okay, so first check that whether the request code is 9, because this method can be invoked by other request permissions also. Suppose you write another request permission inside your app with a request code of something else, then this method will be invoked with that particular request code. So first we are going to check that whether it is 9 or not, and then we are going to check whether the grants results integer array has a value of permission granted or not. Okay, so you have asked for one permission, which is reading external storage. So the result of that will be stored in the first value of grant result. Okay, so you have just asked one permission, and that permission's grant result will be stored in this integer array at index 0. So we are going to check that whether the value at index 0 equals permission granted constant or not. Okay, so if our permission is successfully granted, then this if block will get executed, and here we are going to again call the method that is select PDF. Okay, else we are going to inform the user by providing a message, and it will be a toast message. So to create any type of message in your Android, you need to use the toast class. Okay, so just write toast.makeText. The first parameter will be your current activity or current context, which is an activity.this. The second parameter will be the message. So we are going to provide, please provide permission. Okay, and the third parameter will be the duration, the duration by which your message will get displayed. So there are two constant properties, length short and length long, within the toast class. So length short denotes that our message will get displayed for 1 second, and length long denotes our message will get displayed for 3 seconds. So let us use length short and call the show method. So this will actually show the message to the user. Now we are going to write code for this select PDF. Okay, within this particular method, our task will be to offer user to select a file using file manager. Okay, so to do it, we will be using an intent. Okay, now I guess that everybody of you know that to do this sort of task we need intents. Okay, so first of all we'll create an object of intent, create an object. Now we are going to set some of its properties. So first I am going to set the type as a PDF. So this denotes that our intent is targeted for PDF files. Okay, now we'll set another property, that is intent.set action, and provide it action get content. Okay, so this is the constant. So this denotes that the intent is made to fetch files. Okay, so this denotes that our intent is generally targeted to fetch files. So these are the two necessary properties that you are going to set in your application. Now we are going to launch the intent. To launch the intent, use the start activity for result method, result, and the first parameter will be your intent. So, and the second parameter will be a request code. Okay, so let me provide it as 86. So you can provide anything you want. Okay, so again, why I am providing this request code, I am going to tell you soon. So now let us override another method. The name of the method is onActivityResult. Okay, so this is the method. Delete this super call. Now this method will get invoked by Android to allow us to check that whether our user has successfully selected a file or not. Okay, so basically the acknowledgement will be done in this method. So you are launching this particular method for this intent. Okay, so when this particular line will get executed, so this line, I am talking about this line, start activity for result. Okay, so when this particular line will get executed, after this line the onActivityResult method will automatically get invoked. Yes, it will get automatically invoked by Android. Okay, similarly this method was also automatically invoked by Android. We are not going to call any of the methods by ourselves. These overridden methods will get automatically called by Android. So this is our method where we are going to check acknowledgement. We are going to check whether user has selected a file or not. Here it is PDF. Okay, now let us check. So first we will check in the same way that whether the request code is 86. So this method is actually getting invoked using this intent. Okay, and this intent is using an request code of 86. So we are going to use this 86 to check that whether this method is actually getting invoked by this intent or not. Okay, so I hope it is clear. Now I am going to check the request code 86, and now we are going to check that whether the result code, so I mean this result code, so this result code will be used to check that whether the user has successfully completed the operation or not. Okay, so listen to my words very carefully. It may happen that the user has selected a file or he have not selected a file, but at the end of the task we want to acknowledge that whether the user has successfully completed the operation or not. Okay, so by completion I means that whether the user has opened file manager and then closed it successfully, simply this thing. Okay, so to do it we will check the result code with result token. So this denotes that the user has successfully completed the operation. And now comes the most important thing, which is whether the user has selected a file or not. Okay, so to check that whether the user has selected a file or not, we are going to use this intent data variable and check that whether it is not null. Okay, whether it is not null. So here goes our code. Okay, now we are going to define another global variable. So move to the first lines and declare a global variable which will be URI, and it will be a PDF URI. Now you know what is URI? URI are actually URLs that are meant for local storage. Okay, so it is actually a path to your file on your local storage. So within this particular if block, we are going to fetch the URI for our selected file. So we are going to write PDF URI equals to data.getData. So this will actually return the URI of selected file. Okay, so we are going to again check for the else condition. So we are going to write toast.makeText. We are going to display a message to the user. The first parameter will be the current context. The second parameter will be a message. So if he doesn't select a file, we are going to choose, or we are going to show, please select a file. Okay, and the third parameter will be the duration, let it be length short, and finally call the show method to display the message. So our task is done up to this. Now we will write code for this upload button. So what will happen when you click on this upload? So to do it, write the set onClick listener method for the upload button, override the onClick listener interface, and now we are going to write code in this part to upload our file to Firebase storage and store the URL in our Firebase real-time database. Okay, so first we will write, so let me declare a method, let it be upload file. Okay, and we are going to pass the URI, PDF URI, and before this we are going to check whether our PDF URI is not null. So if it is not null, it denotes that the user has successfully selected the file, and if it is null, we are going to display a message to the user that you should select this file, or you should select a file. Cover the duration and call the show method. Now we are going to write this upload file method. So declare a method upload file. Now within this method we are going to upload our file. So first our task will be to create a storage reference object. Okay, so name it as storage reference and use the Firebase storage object. So this is our Firebase storage object which was named as storage. So we are going to use that object to get the reference to our Firebase storage. So by reference I means actually the path in which our file will get stored. Okay, so within the Firebase storage we can get the path by using the get reference method. So it actually returns path, and we will store the path in this reference storage object. Okay, so this actually returns the root path. Okay, so it actually returns the root path. Now we are not going to store file in our root element. We are going to make a sub element in which we will be storing our files. So to make a sub element, use the child method and let it be uploads. So we are going to make a folder uploads within our root element, and within that uploads folder we are going to save our file. So you will understand all of these things at the end of our project. Okay, So just make sure that we are creating an uploads folder under the root directory, and now we are going to create another subdirectory which will be the name of our file. Okay, so let the name of our file be the current time. Okay, so file name, to get the current time, write system.current time in millis and cast it to string. So let us use this file name as the subdirectory and then use the method putFile and pass the corresponding URI. So the URI was PDF URI. So up to this, our file is successfully uploaded to Firebase storage. Okay, but we need to do an acknowledgement that whether our file is successfully uploaded or not. It may happen that your internet connection is off, so we need to do an acknowledgement, right? So to do an acknowledgement, we need to use another method which is add on success listener. Within this, override the on success listener interface, select it and press enter. Now this method add on success listener will actually get invoked if our file is successfully uploaded to Firebase. Okay, and if it is not, then we are going to attach another method which is add on failure listener, override the failure listener interface, and this denotes that our file is not successfully uploaded. Okay, and at last we will override or attach another method. We are going to attach another method which is on progress listener. So this method will actually help us to track the status of our file that is getting uploaded. Okay, so now let me write the code for each of these methods. So if our file is successfully uploaded to Firebase storage, then we can get the corresponding URL of our file by using this task snapshot object. Okay, so use this object task snapshot and get the download URL. So this returns the download URL for your uploaded file and cast it to string. Okay, so it returns the URL of your uploaded file. Okay, now we are going to store this URL in real-time database. Okay, so to do it, first create a database reference. It will be a reference to our Firebase real-time database, and use the object of Firebase database which was database, and then call the get reference method. So it will successfully return in the same way like Firebase storage the path to root. Okay, so it will return the path to root. Now we will create a subdirectory within it. So let me name it as the file name. So the file name is the string file name. So we are going to create a subdirectory with this file name, and we are going to set or upload the URL to the corresponding node or the corresponding subdirectory. Okay, so just provide the URL which is URL. Now the URL for our file is successfully uploaded to our reference. So to get an acknowledgement, use the add on complete listener method. Okay, now within it override the on complete listener interface, and we are going to check that whether our URL is successfully uploaded or not. So if the URL is successfully uploaded, we will use this task object and check that whether it is successful or not. So if it is successful, we will display a message to the user that our file is successfully uploaded. So let the message be file successfully uploaded. Okay, and the third is the duration, so it will be length short, and call the show method. Okay, now if it is not so, we are going to display a message to the user that it is not uploaded successfully. So just write another toast statement and write file not successfully uploaded. Okay, so here we are done with this method. Now we are going to deal with this on failure listener and the on progress listener methods. Okay, so similarly within this on failure listener method, display the same message that file is not successfully uploaded. Okay, so this on failure listener will get info if our storage reference is not able to store the particular file in the storage of Firebase. Okay, so I hope that you understood. Now within this on progress listener, we are going to track the progress of our upload. Okay, so basically we are going to show a progress bar to the user. So to create a progress bar or a progress dialog, first let me declare a global variable, so it will be progress dialog and name it as progress dialog, and just show the progress dialog within this upload file method at the first. So first create an object of it, so new progress dialog, provide the current instance. Now set some properties, so set the progress style as horizontal. Okay, progress dialog dot style horizontal. Now set the title of the progress dialog as uploading file. Okay, now show the progress dialog. To show the progress dialog, call the show method. Okay, and do another thing, that is set the initial progress to 0. Okay, so we are done, and now we are going to update values for this progress dialog within this on progress listener method. Okay, so first we are going to retrieve the current progress. Okay, so to retrieve the current progress, we are going to use this task snapshot object once more. So first of all, we are going to write this particular statement, bytes transferred, and divide it by task snapshot dot total byte count, and we are going to cast the value to int. Okay, so observe carefully. At each moment we are getting the number of bytes transferred actually, and we are getting the total length of the file. So dividing the bytes transferred by the total number of bytes and multiplying with it 100, we will actually get the current progress. Okay, now we will set the current progress to the progress dialog. So it's done. Okay, so I think all of the task is complete. So to provide a short recap, first we have used the select file button to check the permission. If we have successful permission, we will select the PDF, and if we don't have, we will request permission, and after requesting permission, this on request permissions result will get invoked, and from this method, if the user has successfully granted permission, then we will again call the select PDF, or else we will display this message to select or to provide permission. Okay, and after that we will use this upload button to upload our file. Okay, so to upload our file, we will first check that whether our URI is not null. So it will be not null if the user has successfully selected the file within this select PDF method. So within this select PDF method, we declared an intent which is meant to choose PDF files and to fetch them, and then we have called this start activity for result and pass the intent with the request code. So this method will actually invoke on activity result method with a request code of 86. Okay, the result code will be result OK if the operation is successful, and the data will not be null if the user has successfully selected a file. So if the user has selected a file, we are going to store the URL inside this PDF URI. Okay, and I hope it is clear. So if our PDF URI is not null, we are going to upload the file. So within this upload file, we are going to create two references of storage reference and this real-time database reference, and write these necessary methods to upload file and track the progress in our progress dialog. Okay, I hope it is clear. So now let's test our application. So it looks like I missed out something. So first of all, you need to move to this app folder or this manifest folder, and within this manifest you need to declare the permissions that are required by our app. Okay, so first of all, into this part, use this tag, use this permission, and choose internet and close the tag. And we need another permission, that is reading external storage, so provide it, close the tag. Okay, and I forgot to do another thing, that is we forgot to manage this text view, right? So let's do that. So here, when the user successfully selects a file, we need to set the text of notification as a file is successfully selected or a file is selected, and you need to provide the name of the file. You can get the name of the file using this get data and then writing the get last path segment. So it will offer you the name of the file that is chosen. Okay, and I think it's done. So let's run our application. So click on this run button, and I'm using my virtual emulator, so I'm going to open it, and let's see that whether it works or not. So this is our application. So, and this is the Firebase console. So let me move to the storage part. So click on it and move to the storage part. Now let us test this application. Click on the select file. Okay, it is asking for permission. Okay, so let us allow. Now so yeah, now we are allowed to choose one file from the file manager. So let us choose SD card, and this is some PDF files. So let us choose this second one. So our file is selected, it is working fine. It is actually providing the name of the file that is selected. Now click on this upload button. So yeah, this is the progress dialog. Yeah, it's showing the progress. File successfully uploaded. Okay, so now let's check in the storage part. So refresh the view. So see, this is the storage window, and here we have a directory name uploads. So click on it and see, this is our file. Okay, the name of the file is actually the current time in milliseconds. So this is our PDF file, it is showing. So if we click on it, we'll actually navigate to this file location to get the download URL. Now we have saved this download URL in our Firebase real-time database. So let's move to the database. So see, the file is uploaded, it's the file name and it's the corresponding URL. So let's upload another file. Select a file, select this one, and let us click on upload. It's showing the actual progress in progress dialog, and see, this is our another file with the download URL, and you can again verify it in the storage part. So this is the second file. Okay, so I hope that you understood my video how to upload PDF files or any kind of file on the Firebase storage and using your Firebase real-time database. So all for this today. Have a nice day. Thank you. Hello guys, welcome to another Android tutorial, and in this tutorial we are going to continue the project that we have built in our first tutorial. Okay, so it was about how to upload PDF files in Firebase platform, and in this project we are going to see how we can retrieve files that we have already uploaded to the Firebase platform. So this is our final application, and these are the two files that I have already uploaded to Firebase storage. Now let us click on this fetch files button, and see, these are the name of the two files that are uploaded. So let us click one of them, and here we are prompted to use a browser. So let us select Chrome. Now see, the file wants to get downloaded, so let us click on a replace file because I have already a downloaded file. Now let us open it and see, this is the file that we just fetched from the Firebase platform. So before proceeding, make sure you subscribe my channel because I will keep publishing videos on new topics, and you can also request me to make tutorials on any topic you want. Okay, so without wasting any further time, let's get started. So hello guys, this is a project from our previous tutorial. So to repeat, in the previous tutorial we have seen how to upload PDF files to Firebase. Okay, and using that project only we are going to continue building our final application, and in this project we are going to see how to fetch pre-uploaded files from Firebase. Okay, so here we are going to fetch PDF files. So first our task will be to go to main-activity.xml or activity main.xml, and within this we are going to create a button. Okay, just select the button from the left panel, hold and drag to your design window, and this button will be used to fetch files from your Firebase platform. So let us give it an ID. So select it, use the right panel, let me provide the ID as fetch files. Okay, now let us change the text to fetch files also. Okay, so it's done. Now we are going to directly move to main-activity.java. So open main-activity.java. So within this our first task will be to create an object for the button that we have just implemented. So let me name the button as fetch and move to onCreate method, and within this first create an object for that button. So use the findViewID method and provide the ID of the button which we have just written. It was fetch files. So in this part an object for that button is successfully created. Okay, so let me write object creation successful. Now we are going to do what will happen when you click this button. So basically we are going to fetch files from our Firebase, right? So let us attach an on-click listener. So use the set on-click listener method, and within this override the on-click listener interface. So write on-click and override it. Now in this part we are going to fetch files from our Firebase. So basically our task will be to display the list of items or the list of files that are uploaded to Firebase. So first let us create another XML. Okay, so select this layout folder, right click it, navigate to new and select layout resource file. Okay, so in this resource file we are basically going to create a recycler view. Now we are not going to use basic list views to display the list of items from Firebase. We are going to use recycler views for this project. So first change this root element to recycler view. So this is the root element, and name your file. So let it be my recycler view. After this, click on the OK button. So now we have successfully integrated recycler view in this XML file. So now we need to define some of the properties. So go to this text part, and within this recycler view, first let me provide an ID. Okay, so write Android ID and name it as recycler view. So it's the ID for my recycler view. Now we are going to define another property, that is margins. Okay, so it will be used to display a margin all across the screen. So just write Android margin, layout margin, and provide an amount of 10 dp. So see, we can just view the recycler view in this preview part, and we can see that a margin of 10 dp has appeared across all the sides of the screen. Okay, now let us move to main activity.java, and within this we are just going to create a new activity or launch a new activity that will display our recycler view. So use the start activity method, because we are going to shift from our current activity to a new activity to display our list items. Now within this start activity method, we are going to create an object of intent. Now I hope that all of you know why intents are used. Intents are generally used to move from one activity to another activity. Okay, so just write new intent. The first parameter will be your current context. So your current context is main activity.this, and the second parameter will be the class for your activity on which you want to transfer the control. Okay, so basically it will be a class name. So let me write it as my recycler view activity dot class. So we are just going to create a class named as my recycler view activity. So I just copy the name, and now right click on this first folder, navigate to new and then Java class, and provide the name my recycler view activity, and provide the superclass as app compare activity. So providing the superclass as app compare activity indicates that we are going to create a new activity, and this my recycler view activity class is just going to denote a new activity. Okay, so I hope that you got it. Now click on OK. So we have just successfully created a class which is used to display our activity, and within this first override the onCreate method. Okay, so this one onCreate, and hit enter. So within this onCreate method we will display the recycler view XML. Okay, so to display the recycler view XML, first write set content view and provide the layout name, which was my recycler view. So it will display the recycler view XML in our screen when you just launch this new activity. Okay, so first within this activity we are going to create an object of recycler view. So let me name it as recycler view. Use the find view by id method and provide the id of your recycler view. So let me show you once more. Let me move to my recycler view XML. So this is the XML, and within this the id of our recycler view was recycler view. So this is the id that we just mentioned here. Okay, I hope it's clear. Now we are going to create an adapter for our recycler view. Now what are adapters? I already have mentioned in my list few tutorials. You can just check them out. So I just want to say that for recycler views we are going to use custom adapters always. Okay, so first we have to create our own adapter, and you know that adapters are used basically to display or populate the recycler view with items. Okay, so they are used to populate the recycler view with items. So before creating our custom adapter, we have to create another layout that represents the individual recycler view items. Okay, so first let us do it. Right click on this layout folder and in a similar way navigate to new layout resource file, and let me name it as items. Okay, or simply item. Now click on OK, and this XML file will be used to represent or define individual recycler view items. Okay, so how the individual list items or recycler view items will look like, we are going to define in this XML. So first we are going to use a card view for our individual recycler view items. So search for card view in this left panel. So this is our card view. Hold and drag to your design window and wait for some time. So yeah, our card view is successfully integrated. Now we are going to set the card view as the root element. So we are just going to delete this constraint layout and make this as card view. Okay, so first delete this extra unnecessary things and delete this part too and make this as card view. Now delete this last line and just create a ending tag. So this is our card view. Okay, and delete this extra properties too, we just don't need it. These are unnecessary stuffs. Now we are going to provide a height and width for our card view. So we are going to provide the width as match parent and we are going to provide a height of 150 dp. Okay, now we need to use another property, that is card use compat padding. Okay, so card use compat padding and set it to true. Now setting this property is must in order to display your card view properly. Okay, so otherwise if we move to the design part, see this is our card view that we have just created. The way it look like, it will actually not look the same way when you launch the app in your mobile. Okay, so to do it we need to set the card use compat padding to true. Now provide an ID for your card view. So let the ID be my card and my card view. So it's successful. Now let us provide some corner radius, so it will just make the card view look nice. Let me provide it as 8 dp and provide a margin also so that it looks neat. So provide it as 5 dp and let us check the design part. So see, this is our card view. It looks nice. It has a corner of 8 dp and a margin of 5 dp from all of the sides of the screen. Now within this card view we are going to create a text view. So this text view will actually show the name of the files that are stored in our Firebase. Okay, so just create a text view. So search for text view and then hold and drag it to your card view. So this is our text view. Now we need to place this text view in the center of the card view so that it looks nice. Okay, so go to this text part and just define a properties layout gravity and set it to center. Okay, and provide the text style as bold and also the text alignment to center. Okay, now let us check the design. Okay, so this is our text view which is placed at the center of the card. Provide an ID, so let the ID be an ID is already provided in this part, so change the ID to name of file. Okay, now we are actually going to create our custom adapter. So click on this first Java folder, right click, navigate to new, then Java class, and let me name it as my adapter and click on OK. Now to create a recycler view custom adapter, we need to extend the recycler view adapter class. Okay, so basically extending this class denotes and write that we are going to create our own custom adapter. Now within this we are going to create an inner class which will be a view holder. So what is the purpose of the view holder? I am going to tell you soon. First write private class view holder and it will extend the recycler view holder class. Okay, now we need to create a constructor within this view holder. Okay, so this is our constructor. And now what is the purpose of this view holder? So it will actually be used to create our individual recycler view items. Okay, you can see the name as view holder. So what does it indicate? We are basically going to create views for individual recycler view items, and we are going to store the views in corresponding objects of view holder class. Okay, so let me do it, you will understand. So first let us see what is there in our individual recycler view item. So it is the item XML and this is our individual recycler view item, and within this we have a text view. Okay, so we are going to our custom adapter class, and within this first we are going to write a reference to text view and name it to name of file. Now within this constructor we are going to create an object of the text view. So write name of file, use the item view, so this item view object, and call the find view by id method and provide the id of your text view which was name of file. Okay, so within this view holder we have just creating objects of elements that are present in our individual items. Okay, so we just had a text view in our individual item XML, and so we are just creating an object of text view within this constructor. Okay, so our next task will be to define a generic for this recycler view adapter, and it will be my adapter view holder. Okay, now we are going to implement some extra methods. So just press Alt plus enter and press enter by selecting the implement methods option. Select all and press on OK. Okay, and don't write it as private, write it as public. Okay, so now we are going to use three methods to actually create our custom adapter. First, this onCreateViewHolder will be used to create views for list items. Okay, for recycler views item. So let us create a view. So to create a view, first we are going to write view, and we are going to use an object of layout inflator, and create the object by writing the from method, and within this we are going to pass the context. Okay, So currently we don't have a context present in our myAdapter class. So we are going to create 3 instance variables first. Let me name it as first recycler view. So first write what I am writing and then you will understand it. Write context and write another array list that will contain the individual list items. Okay, so our array list will contain string. So we have successfully created 3 references and we are going to create objects for these references within our constructor. So let us create a constructor. Select all of this and press OK. So I have just successfully created a constructor and initialized these reference variables within this constructor. Okay, now let us move to our onCreateViewHolder method and we are going to create an object of layout in Flutter by using the from method, and within this we are going to pass the context. Okay, so this context, and then we are going to call the inflate method and provide the first parameter as the individual list or recycler view items XML file. Okay, so our individual items XML was this item XML. So we're going to use or pass this item XML as the first parameter. So it is item. The second parameter will be the parent. So just pass this parent object as the second parameter. So you don't need to worry about the extra parameters because they are of not huge concern. Now provide the third parameter as false. Okay, you just don't need to worry about them. So just understand that we are using an object of layout in Flutter to create an object for item XML by using the inflate method and storing the view within this view variable. So basically we are creating a view for our item XML. Now we are going to return an object of our view holder class and passing the current view or this view to the constructor of the view holder class. Okay, so let me write, you will understand. So just create an object of view holder and pass the view. So it returns an object of view holder. I hope you understood. Now within this onBind view holder we are going to initialize the elements of individual items. Okay, so our individual items contains only a text view, so we are going to initialize that text view within this particular method. So now to say one more thing, this onBind view holder method is called for every position of your recycler view. Okay, so if your recycler view contains 3 items, then onBind view holder will be called for position 0, for position 1, for position 2. For individual position, this onBind view holder method is called. Okay, so we are just going to initialize our text view for individual recycler view item within this onBind view holder method. So first use the holder object, call the name of file text view, use the set text method. So just write items.get position. So it will just display the name of individual file which is stored in this items array list in corresponding text view for corresponding recycler view items at this position. Okay, I hope it's clear. Now if you have any doubt, make sure you comment in the comment box. I will make sure that you have all of your doubts cleared. Now we are going to use this getItemCount method. So this getItemCount will be used to return the number of items. Okay, so the number of items, I think all of you can guess, is the size of items array list. Okay, so this is our adapter. Now within this adapter only we need to do what will happen when you click a particular recycler view item. Okay, so to do it, move to the inner constructor of this view holder class and use this item view object to attach an onClick listener. Okay, override the on-click listen interface, and basically we are going to do here what will happen when you click on individual item view, and this item view will be used to represent, or this represents individual list items. Okay, so after clicking a particular item view, we are going to detect on which position we have clicked the particular item view. Okay, so first we are going to create an integer variable named as position, and we are going to use the recycler view object. Then call the get child layout position and pass this particular view object. Okay, so this will give the position of our clicked item view. Now we are going to use an intent to open a browser so that we can view our individual files. Okay, so we are going to create an object of intent. So write intent, create an object. Now we need to set the type as action view. So this denotes that we are going to view something. Now we are going to attach another property, that is the URL that we are going to open. So basically we are going to get the URL from another array list that we have not defined yet. So let us define another array list. Okay, so let me name the array list as string, and here we will store the URLs. Okay, modify the constructor. So let me provide another array list, this dot string URLs, and initialize our instance variable URL. So basically we are going to store the URLs in this URLs array list. Okay, now within this set data method we are actually going to create an object of URI. Okay, so using that URI we are going to display our corresponding URL in our default browser. Okay, so let me write it URI and then call the parse method, and within this parse the corresponding URL. So it is stored in the URLs array list at position, this position. Okay, so basically we have created an object of URI for this corresponding URL and pass this to the set data method of intent. Okay, now we need to launch the particular intent. To launch the particular intent we are going to use the start activity method of the context object. So call context.start activity and pass the intent. Okay, so this successfully will launch a browser to display our corresponding file. Now we need to attach an object of our custom adapter to our recycler view that we have created. So let us move to recycler view activity, and here we are going to create the object for our custom adapter. So let me write it as my adapter and create an object my adapter. So basically you are going to pass 3 or 4 items here. Okay, so first will be our recycler view, the second will be a context. So we can get the current context by writing the get application context method, or you can also write my recycler view activity.this. And the third and fourth parameter will be simply array list. So first let us pass empty array list. Okay, now we need to attach this my adapter to our recycler view. So use the set adapter method and pass the my adapter. Beside, we also need to define some properties, that is use a layout manager for our recycler view. So let us create an object of new linear layout manager and pass the current context, which is my recycle review activity.this, and it's done. Okay, but we have not done the most important thing, that is we have not fetched values from our Firebase, right? So to fetch the values or the name of the file with their URLs, we are just going to use a database reference object. Okay, so name it as database reference. Use the Firebase database dot get instance method to create an object of Firebase database, and then the get reference method to create an object of Firebase database reference. Okay, now we are going to attach a child event listener to this database reference. So override the child event listener interface. Now we are provided with 5 methods: child added, changed, removed, moved, and cancelled. Okay, so we are just going to need this child added method. Okay, so this method is actually called for individual items at the database reference. Okay, so this child added method is actually called for individual items at this database reference, and the items is actually stored in this data snapshot object. So we are going to use this object to fetch our individual items. Okay, so we are going to fetch the name of the file by writing string file name and using the data snapshot object dot get key. So it will actually return the file name, and we can fetch the URL by writing data snapshot dot get value and cast it to string. So this will actually return URL for file name. Okay, so we are fetching the file name and storing it in the string variable, and we are storing the URL for that file in this particular string variable. Now we need to pass these two string variables to our custom adapter for our recycler view so that we can display them, okay, or we can use them. So first let us define this recycler view as global, okay, so that we can use them in our on child added method. Okay, so define it as global and provide the name here. So within this child added method, we are going to fetch the custom adapter for our recycler view. So write recycler view.get adapter and cast this to my adapter, and use the update method. We are going to create the update method soon in our custom adapter. So first write update and pass these two variables, that is file name and URL. Okay, so now let us create this update method in our custom adapter. So move to my adapter and create an extra method. Let me name it as update. So write public void update, take two string variables, string name and string URL. Now we are going to add these two string variables in our corresponding array list. So we are going to add the file name in our items array list. So write items.add name, and we are going to add the URL to our URLs array list. So write urls.add URL. Okay, and now we need to call a method known as notify dataset changed. So this refreshes the recycler view automatically. Okay, so this refreshes the recycler view automatically so that our recycler view gets populated with the latest items and URLs array list. Okay, so now let us move to my recycler view activity and see the update error has gone, and I think all of the task is done. Okay, so before launching our final application, we need to make another 2 changes. First of all, move to your upload file method. So this method we have created in our last tutorial, right? So within this method, first append a .pdf to your file name. Otherwise, we will have problems downloading files to our phone and then opening it with a suitable PDF reader. So we will face problems if we don't append a .pdf. Now you can see that our Firebase storage reference will store the PDF file within the uploads folder with a file name that has appended .pdf at the end. Okay, so it's not a huge deal, but within this Firebase database reference, we can't have a name with a dot at the middle. So basically within our Firebase database reference, that is within our real-time database, we cannot name a file as a .pdf. So we need to create another variable. So let it be file name 1, and within this we are just going to write system.current time in millis, just a string, a null string appended. So we are going to create another string variable with the name file name 1, and then simply write the current time and cast it to string. So it will not have .pdf at the end. Okay, and make sure that you make this as final. So all these are the changes that we need to do. Lastly, we need to test our application. So click on the green run button, and I will use virtual emulator for this project. So I will choose my virtual emulator and click on OK. Now we need to wait. So this is our final application, and this is our real-time database of the Firebase platform. Currently we don't have any files uploaded on Firebase, so let us upload some. Click on the select file and let us choose the first one. Now click on the upload button, and here is the acknowledgement. So yeah, our file is successfully uploaded. See, now let us fetch the file. Okay, so click on this fetch files button, and this is the name of the file that we just uploaded. You can verify it from here. It is the same name, right? So let us click on the card view, and here we are asked to open a browser. So let us select Chrome, and see, our file is getting downloaded. Oh yeah, it's complete to download. So let us open the file. So see, this is the file that we just uploaded. So I hope that all of you understood how to fetch files that you have uploaded to Firebase platform. So all for this today. Have a nice day. Thank you.